welcome everybody to Rewind the Times. Man, how's everybody going, man? I've been sick, guys. I'm so sorry. I feel like I've lost weight. I haven't been on. I've been sick. I haven't felt really good. Even though I wasn't feeling good, I was still trying to go to the gym. And I love going to the gym. Some days I lift heavy, some days I lift light. But I love going to the gym. It just makes me feel good about myself. And I was having a hard time even going to the gym. But I've been sitting around watching a lot of DC movies, as I normally do. Um, and then I was at the gym, and actually I'm watching a lot of DC and Friday the 13th. I love Jason Voorhees. He's my favorite horror icon out of all of them. Actually, my three favorite Jason movies are Jason Part Two. I mean Friday the 13th Part Two, and then I love Friday the 13th Part Five, and then Part Six. Love Jason Voorhees. But I got a chance to watch the Zack Snyder trilogy again. There's 11 movies in the DCEU. When it does end, the DCEU, when it does end, there will be a total of 15 movies. We have 4 more movies coming out. Looking forward to seeing Shazam, Blue Beetle, The Flash, was supposed to change everything, and then Aquaman. And then it goes into the DCU, which is Guns World. And someone asked me, why do you love the DC so much? The brand's really tarnished. It's damaged. It's rebooting again. When you could easily love you can easily love Marvel. Marvel's going on their 33rd movie, I believe, next week, or 34th movie with Ant-Man, which I am going to see. Looking forward to seeing that because I love comic book movies. And I didn't know how to answer him at first. I'm at the gym. I'm lifting weights. So I'm going to answer actually him in this video. Why I love DC. I think the reason I love DC is because it's a little bit darker. A little bit darker than Marvel. Marvel's it's more of a lighter tone. DC is more of a darker tone. I feel like DC's characters are more relatable, human-wise. I know you have Superman, and I mean, they're all superheroes at the end of the day. But what I mean is, I love Batman. I'm a huge Batman fan. And I think the reason I love Batman so much is because he's like us. He's like me. He's like you, whoever's watching this video. Angelo, how you doing, brother? He's just like us. He's just like one of us. He's just rich. And he builds his own stuff. He makes his own weapons, but at the end of the day, he's just a human. He ages. Superman pretty much stays the same. Martian Manhunter, all those guys, But but Batman ages, but he gets by his brain. He's the world's greatest detective and his gadgets. But at the end of the day, he's human, and I love that concept. I absolutely love that concept. And I think that's why I love DC so much because it's more relatable and it's just very dark. And I like the dark tone. And watching Zack Snyder's trilogy again, which is Man of Steel. And then you go into Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, and then you have Justice League, which, man, that movie is just. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League, is easily one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. It's just incredible. It's like watching cinematic art. I say it all the time. It's literally watching cinematic art. When you sit there, you realize it's a 4-hour movie. It's a 8 chapters? It's a 4-hour movie. But you never find yourself at any moment getting bored with that movie. There are other DC movies, Birds of Prey, which I like, but you just find yourself getting bored with them. There are plenty of Marvel. I think all of Marvel's Phase 4 was kind of very boring until Wakanda Forever, and, but, man, you don't get bored with it. The movie's just amazing. It's like you almost want more. I literally watched right to the very ending, with the ending credits with Martian Manhunter coming, and then the nightmare scene. That movie is so fucking good. Excuse my language. It's just so good. It's so good, and I see why people can't let that go. I see why people cannot let that. They can't let his vision go. First of all, it feels very incomplete. When you know that there was supposed to be at least 2 more movies, there's supposed to be a Justice League 2, a Justice League 3, it does come off very incomplete. Darkseid walks away with Jasad, and they're gonna do it the old way. and it kind of makes you think, okay, well, especially since at the end they tease Martian Manhunter, so are they gonna bring him on, which would be awesome. Then they have the Nightmare World. I mean, it breaks up to so many different things. It just you feel robbed. You feel robbed of what, because it's so good and you want to see so much more. You just feel so robbed. And like I said, I was sick. I haven't felt good in a couple of days. And I sat and I just watched it, and it's like it's so captivating. And then and at the end, you're just like, and then all of a sudden, you kind of watch those three movies that I just said, and then you watch Black Adam, which I get so excited for. You can see it on my face. And then all of a sudden, Henry Cavill's back, and I seen that movie 6 times in the theaters. I paid for 2 other families to go see it. Every time that I went to see it, no matter what, people at the end of the movie, at the end credits, went fucking nuts. They went nuts. Whether there was 5 people in the crowd or 100. I've seen it with a full crowd of people in it in the theaters when it first came out, and then towards the end, obviously the audiences get smaller as the longer the movies are in theaters. Even if there was 20 people in the crowd, they still went nuts. I'll never forget sitting in the theater at a 10 o'clock show with my son Jeremy. He's my oldest, my 13-year-old, and we seen it with there was a Spanish family there, and I will never forget. All 6 of them were going. The guy turned around and looked at me. He's like, Henry Cavill, like they were just going nuts that he was back, and the excitement to see Superman back, our Superman, which there's 2 great Supermans that I believe. Nothing against Brandon Roth or anything, or Dean Cain or Tom Welling. None against any of them, but Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill. When you look at them, they are the epitome of what Superman is. It's almost like they were born to play Superman. I mean, Henry Cavill does everything so comic book accurate. It's just like the man knows what he's doing, and then he just looks at the physique, his aneurysms, the way his facial, everything is just Superman. And it's so depressing to see what could be. And The Rock fought for so long, and whether his ego, whatever you say with The Rock, whatever you want to say, the man still fought to get the guy back. And then Gunn came along, and all I keep hearing about is Man of Steel Man of Steel didn't make the money it was gonna make. What did it make? $700 million? That's a lot of money, dude. So does that mean if Gunn doesn't make $1 billion, if all of Gunn's movies don't make $1 billion, does that mean that all his movies are flops? I mean, I'll stress it out a lot. I'm not a Snyder bot. I love what I love and I like what I like. That's just it. And I'm sorry, but the Snyderverse or the Snyder versions or whatever, his movies, they all made lots of money. That whole world, Wonder Woman, they all made tons of movie. You can't deny it. They really did make tons of movie. 600, 600, 700, 800. I mean, you cannot deny 800 million. They all made lots of money. And then the bottom half didn't make the greatest. Black Adam was the first movie to come out in a long time. Theater that didn't have a showing on HBO Max. And it made $400 million. Matter of fact, it's still in the theaters. It's still in 24 theaters. I know it sounds kind of weird to know, but it really is. It's in 24 more theaters. It's still making money. Not a lot, obviously. But I think at the end it's going to make a total of $400 million. It's been number 1 in sales for almost a month now for 4K, Blu-ray. People like the movie. I hate how it gets criticized. If the budget wasn't so high, would people be criticizing the movie, calling it a flop, this and that? It's only a flop because $400 million for a DC movie that hasn't come out in almost almost a year and a half to almost 2 years. And the one prior to that was the Suicide Squad. James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad, may I remind you, and that only made like $169 million. Black Adam was awesome. It didn't get a China release date. It did almost $400 million without China. Shazam is gonna get a China release date. Matter of fact, the first Shazam did get a China release date, and it only did $366 million. And Black Adam did not, and it made almost $400 million. So what does that tell you? I don't care what anybody says. I hate how they say it's a flop. It's not a flop. It's only a flop if you look at what it took to make the money, took to make the movie. But it's really not a flop. Henry Cavill's in the movie for 15 seconds. 15 seconds. That's it. And it made almost $400 million for 15 seconds. And people, and what sucked is the internet destroyed it because the first night, the people were posting all over the internet, but people still went to theaters to go see it. People still paid $12, $20, $15 to go see him if that's what you wanted to see, Henry Cavill for 15 seconds, and you saw him on the big screen. It's a shame. I hate what if. I hate it. I hate what if. I hate saying what if. It kills my soul. It hurts. Especially when it's a good what if. If Gunn didn't come along, I really believe the DC world would be on an uprising. And people, you just hear me out for a second. You know, Rock did have some sort of vision, but I think with Henry coming back in, and the way David Zaslav was going to do things, they just needed someone to control it. They needed someone at the top. It's like a pyramid. They needed someone at the top, and which they have now, but I think they have the wrong guy at the top. And I know we're supposed to give Gunn his chance, but if you look at Gunn's movies, there's nothing really impressive about it. They're really not. I mean, yes, obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker. I mean, they're good shows, but they're not. They're not the tone of DC. At least not to me, they're not, and not to the people that I talk to either. So it's not like it's just me saying all this stuff. You know, he does make obscure characters in obscure movies and makes them great. I mean, not for nothing, but the Marvel world was already developed and was already out there before Guardians came in. So you can't say Iron Man and then all of a sudden Guardians was next. It wasn't like that. That world was already built, and then he put his stamp on it. He's now putting his stamp on it in the beginning, and you know, I mean, what happens now if it doesn't? If you know, he's got a 4-year deal and a 10-year plan. Well, DC has a 10-year plan, and he only has like what, a 4-year contract. What else if his movies don't do good? What's gonna happen? Are they gonna reboot again? It's already embarrassing now that we are rebooting. I'll say it to the day I die. The DCEU did not need to be rebooted. It had the cast. It had the right cast of characters. It just needed better storytelling. That's all it needed, and that's what I was excited about when Gunn came in. I said, you know, Gunn does know DC, and I'll give him that. But I just wanted him to take what was already there and just make it better. And I guess in a way, people can argue and say that's what he did, and that's what he said he was going to do, was take the best parts of the DCU. But he didn't take the best parts of the DCU. He took his parts of the DCU. He got rid of someone like Henry Cavill. And maybe Gal got it. Who knows? And he's keeping someone like his wife. Sorry. But she is tied into Black Adam, isn't she? Because he says something about no connections, but Amanda Waller and his wife are connected to Black Adam. It's just the parts that he kept. It just seemed like if you were a buddy or a friend of his, you were in his world. And if you weren't a buddy of his, you kind of kicked out. And it sucks. It really sucks, because if you think about Superman Legacy, and it's supposed to be the evolution of the Superman. Well, isn't that what Man of Steel 2 was supposed to be? You know, and Henry Cavill looks great. I feel bad for the next guy that the next actor that's going to come along and try to portray Superman. He's already lost. Regardless, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's already lost. You know, I've never seen a bunch of people support an actor like I've seen people support Henry Cavill. And there's a lot of reason to it. There's a lot of reasons why people aren't crying for Tom Welling or Brandon Roth or any other Superman besides Christopher Reeve. There's a lot of reasons why people are crying out for Henry Cavill, because the man is Superman. I think people wouldn't be going so much crazy if he was still playing Superman. I think there'd be a lot more support for Cavill, but I mean for Gunn. But the way he did it, the way he went about it, and I get it sometimes. I do understand that he wants to put his stamp on it. My gut is just telling me, and I'm an empath. I don't know if anybody knows what an empath is, but an empath, there's like 15% of people are empaths. An empath is a person who feels things based on the mood. It's actually a terrible gift. I hate to say that, but it really is a terrible gift. I know when my girlfriend, my best friend, my coworkers, my brother, my children, I know when something's wrong, and I can feel their feelings, and then their feelings become my feelings. It's weird to explain, and it actually sucks to have. And I don't look at it as a gift. I look at it as a curse, because it's like sometimes I can't even have my own feelings, because when I'm in a room with other people, I can feel theirs, and I actually wear their feelings like a shirt or like a piece of clothing. It is terrible. And as soon as Gunn came along, I didn't feel anything good. I didn't feel anything good. I know that sounds kind of weird to say. I was excited because I thought, here's a guy that does know DC, and he'll do certain things, like I said, his way. But to give him the keys to the main car, and those main cars are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, I just don't feel good about it. And I hope I'm wrong, but I don't feel good about it. I don't want to hear fart jokes. I don't want to. I don't. I just my gut just says something is not going to be good about this, and it sucks because like there's Marvel just chugging along, doing their thing, going on to Kang, from Thanos to Kang to who's next, Galactus. I mean, they have so many good villains over there too. And I heard one thing I am excited about is Brainiac is supposed to be in this new Superman Legacy, but then the Batman, the Brave and the Bold. I would love to see Ben Affleck be that Batman. Man, I think that would have been really cool to see him with a version of Damian, his son. That would have been really cool. I don't know, man. To get back to what I talked about at the beginning of this video, it's just the Zack Snyder thing. It's so hard not seeing that vision come through. It really is. It's so hard to show that movie to somebody like now, like my kids when they watch it. They my 13-year-old understands, but my 7-year-old don't quite understand. When he watches it, he's like, "Okay, Dad, put in part 2," and I'm like, "There is no part 2, son." Like he doesn't understand. Like this, it's just not finished. It's not finished. It's like making a peanut butter sandwich with no jelly. It's just give me a cup of milk with no chocolate in it. It just feels weird. So, yeah, man. But I really hope this Snyderverse thing comes back. I think it can in an Elseworld, like Gunn was saying, which I absolutely love. I do love the Elseworld part. I'm actually more interested in the Elseworlds, I hate to say this, than the main DCU timeline. I'm really excited about the other parts, like the Elseworlds, like the Constantine 2, which I heard got canceled, but then Warner Brothers came out and said it didn't get canceled. I'm really excited about seeing that. I'm really excited about seeing like the Batman 2. Like I'm excited about the things that are not connected to the DCU main timeline. I don't know why, I'm just not, and I should be, because I was excited about everything connected to the DCEU timeline. But with this, I really want to see Zack Snyder come back, and I really hope and pray, God, that we see his vision at least come to an end. At least 2 more movies or whatever he wants to do. I really do, man. And who knows? Maybe this gun project's not gonna work, and Zack's gonna come back. I mean, who knows? I think what kind of stinks is I think we all can agree on this, that if Black Adam made $500 million or more, I think Zack's vision would have stayed. But unfortunately, because it only made 400, it in their eyes, it didn't make the money that they wanted to make because of how much money it took to make the movie. Gunn came in and they kind of, I hate reboots. I hate reboots. I feel like a reboot is, if you're gonna come in, you're gonna reboot everything, not pick and choose, because it just doesn't look good, especially when the people you pick and choose are your friends. So, hey guys, just wanted to come on real quick to talk about some DC stuff, feeling better. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I do got some more videos come up. I want to talk about some Jason videos, Friday the 13th videos. I'm a big Power Ranger fan, so if there's some Power Ranger fans out there, I want to talk to you guys. They're coming out, a special coming out next month. I'm so excited. I think it's the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, so I'm super excited about that. My favorite Power Ranger is Yellow, the Trini Sabertooth Tiger. I love her, so I'm so excited about that. I guess some Motu Origins figures I want to talk about too. So, alright guys, so listen, everybody takes care of themselves. God bless you. Remember, man, God first and family. Until the next video. Peace, guys.